Every Saturday morning, Mia visited the same little café at the end of a quiet street. The café was small but beautiful. Warm lights hung from the ceiling. Soft music played in the background. The smell of fresh coffee mixed with sweet vanilla filled the air. People came to read, work, or simply enjoy a peaceful morning. Near the front door stood an old mirror with a dark wooden frame. Almost everyone looked into it before leaving. Mia never did. She always kept her eyes on the floor as she walked past it. It had become a habit she never questioned. Years ago, Mia had a small accident that left a scar on her left cheek. The scar was not large. Most people hardly noticed it. But Mia noticed it every day. Whenever she looked into a mirror, she only saw the scar. She forgot to see her smile. She forgot to see her bright eyes. Little by little, she stopped liking her own reflection. The café belonged to a kind woman named Clara. She knew the names of many customers. She remembered their favorite drinks. When Mia walked in, Clara already knew what to prepare. A warm latte with a little heart in the milk foam. One day, Clara's nephew, Julian, started helping at the café. He worked quietly. He carried coffee beans. He cleaned tables. He drew small hearts on cappuccinos with surprising care. Mia noticed that he smiled easily. Not a loud smile. A calm one. The kind that made people feel comfortable. As the weeks passed, Mia and Julian spoke from time to time. They talked about rainy mornings. They talked about music. They talked about the smell of coffee after fresh rain. One thing surprised Mia. Julian never asked about her scar. He never stared at it. He simply spoke to her as if nothing needed to be explained. For the first time in a long while, Mia forgot to worry about hiding her face. Soon, Saturdays became her favorite day of the week. Sometimes she stayed for an hour. Sometimes 2. She sat by the window with her notebook. Outside, people hurried through busy streets. Inside, everything felt slower. Clara often gave her a small butter cookie with her coffee. "It's fresh today," she would say with a smile. The little gift always made Mia happy. She began helping in small ways. If cups needed carrying, she helped. If flowers on the tables needed fresh water, she changed them. The café slowly began to feel like home. Still, she never looked at the mirror by the door. Every time she walked past it, her eyes turned away without thinking. One windy afternoon, the café became unusually busy. Customers filled every table. Someone opened the door too quickly. The strong wind pushed it against the old mirror. The mirror shook. Then it fell. Glass covered the floor. The whole café became silent. Everyone stepped back. Mia looked at the broken pieces. Each piece reflected only a small part of the room. A chair. A window. Half of someone's face. Nothing looked complete. For some reason, it reminded her of herself. She had spent years believing one small part of her story was the whole story. The next Saturday, Mia noticed something different. A new mirror stood beside the door. It looked simple. The wooden frame was light instead of dark. At the bottom, Small words had been carved into the wood. She stepped closer. The message said, "Look at the person who is smiling." She read the words twice. They were simple, but they stayed in her heart. Just then, Julian walked by carrying a tray of coffee. "I made the frame," he said softly. That was all. No long explanation. No big speech. Just a quiet sentence. Mia looked at the mirror again. For the first time in years, she did not turn away. She looked at herself slowly. The scar was still there. It had never disappeared. But something else appeared first. Her eyes looked warm. Her smile looked gentle. She looked peaceful. The scar became only one small part of her face. Not the whole picture. Without thinking, she smiled a little wider. The person in the mirror smiled back. After that day, something changed. Not all at once. Some mornings were still difficult. Some reflections still brought old memories. But every Saturday, she read the same words again. Look at the person who is smiling. Little by little, she believed them. Spring arrived. Sunlight filled the cafe through the large front windows. People laughed over coffee. Children shared slices of cake. Friends stayed long after finishing their drinks. Mia began helping at the cafe every weekend. She learned how to steam milk. She learned how to decorate drinks with simple hearts. Customers started recognizing her. One afternoon, a young woman came into the cafe looking nervous. She kept fixing her hair before ordering. When Mia handed her the coffee, she added a small cookie beside the cup. The woman's face brightened immediately. "Thank you," she whispered. As Mia watched her smile, she remembered all the small kindnesses that had slowly changed her own heart. A free cookie. A warm welcome. A quiet conversation. A mirror with a simple message. None of them seemed important alone. Together, they changed the way she saw herself. That evening, as the cafe closed, Mia passed the mirror one last time. This time, she did not lower her eyes. She saw a woman with a scar. She also saw a woman with kind eyes. A warm smile. And a heart that had finally learned to be gentle with itself. Outside, the street lights began to glow. Inside, the mirror reflected one quiet smile. And for the first time in years, that smile was enough.